Bitcoin has seen another rejection from this very critical downward sloping trend, and on today's update video I will be discussing the Bitcoin falling wedge breakout, which currently is getting retested, the price targets of this pattern, and many more important charts which are telling us something about that larger time frame on Bitcoin, because there is an enormous big breakout coming, and I will be discussing it on today's update video. Yeah, Bitcoin has been very boring, but we need to be zooming out right now on the larger perspective. So without any further ado, don't forget to slap on that like button back above 700 likes. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So currently we can see that Bitcoin is still trading in a downtrend. It is still consolidating, and basically we're seeing a very boring price action on Bitcoin. So yeah, we are creating this new downward sloping resistance line, which we already got rejected from 4 times in a row, and we're creating this upward sloping support line, which we are currently retesting. And you can see already 2 times we found some support on this level, and currently we're retesting it as well. And if we really break below this level, yeah, then we're potentially going to be having some problems on the charts. So let's see how that is going to be playing out. So currently Bitcoin is consolidating sideways. We're still in the middle of this consolidation phase, and yesterday we saw that ever so slight breakout of that 4-hourly downward sloping resist line. We broke the resistance, and yeah, right now we're actually retesting that previous resistance level back into support. We actually broke below the support line ever so slightly, but basically Bitcoin, it is just still consolidating. And also in the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that this is an important downtrend Bitcoin needs to be breaking above of, and basically that we're still in the midst of this consolidation phase. So on the larger things of it all, Bitcoin has not really done a lot in the last 48 hours. We're still seeing the funding rates being overly negative, which means that the majority of the traders are still trading short. And also, if I'm looking at the liquidation heat map, we're still seeing more than $10 billion worth of Bitcoin getting built up in terms of liquidity above us. So that means that ultimately the majority of the liquidity is being built up above us. So it's going to be extremely likely that we are most likely going to be grabbing out that liquidity. I've said this so many times right now here, and I will continue to say so, because historically with all those previous times here, once we build up liquidity on a certain side on the market, we always grabbed out the liquidity. So in my opinion, it's a matter of time before we're going to be going towards those levels. But of course, one of the reasons why Bitcoin yesterday actually had another correction, outside of the fact that we were of course exactly retesting the resistance, was due to the fact that yesterday the German government started to sell its Bitcoin holdings, and currently they're still holding over $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, and so far they've liquidated about 100 million US dollars. So this is very interesting what currently is happening, but they're currently clearly selling some Bitcoin, which is also causing the price to decrease ever so slightly. And at the same time, we're seeing rapid outflows on the spot Bitcoin ETFs. I mean, there are no outflows coming from BlackRock, but the majority of the outflows currently are coming from Fidelity, which has seen over 400 million US dollars worth of outflows in already the last 5 trading days all alone. So honestly, the behavior from the spot Bitcoin ETF is quite weird, but interesting at the same time. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin and looking at my trades, guys, I'm still going to be patient. I am not going to be exiting my trade right now at this point of time. I'm still waiting for Bitcoin to be grabbing that liquidity. And as we're still holding and trading in this falling wedge pattern, which we're also creating on the daily time frame, I still think there's a very likely scenario that we're going to be bouncing back towards the upside. The sentiment has been very bearish in the market overall. And guys, if you want to be trading yourself and opening up a trade yourself right now here, guys, don't forget to go to the link description of today's video, because you can currently claim an insane free $30,000 deposit bonus on BYBIT. And all you need to do for that is basically go to the link description of today's video, press on this link right here where you can basically sign up an account to BYBIT. And if you sign up to there, you can get a $30,000 deposit bonus. And without this link in the description, it's only $400. So it's a win-win situation if you are interested in trading or buying altcoins in general. So BYBIT is the place, because BYBIT allows you to trade many different altcoins and buy them on spot as well. So if you're a spot trader, BYBIT is also your place to be. So yeah, Bitcoin, I mean, there's not a lot of changing in the past few days, right? And if you're just zooming out, we're in the midst of this consolidation range. We're in the midst of it, and you can see the green box is my most important level of support. We have bounced from that level a couple times right now here, and currently we're exactly trading on it. And if we clearly break below this level, guys, I do really believe we're going to come down to $60,000, and $60,000 is all the way at the lower side of the range, which is the next big stop for Bitcoin. You can see that previously, right, we got rejected by the green box, and now potentially we're going to see that bounce here. And honestly, this is really the point it needs to be happening. If we go a little bit lower than this, we're going to be confirming the breakdown, and if the breakdown confirms, then we're going to be quite screwed. And honestly, what I'm going to be looking at closely is this downward sloping support line right here, because yeah, we're creating that falling wedge pattern right now on Bitcoin, and if we break below that support level right there, yeah, we're going to be quite screwed here. But on the daily time frame, we're just still in the middle of this falling wedge pattern here, which is of course still looking quite good. A falling wedge pattern is typical bullish bias pattern, so I don't believe that there's anything wrong with the price action we're currently seeing on Bitcoin. But indeed, it is one thing for sure, and that it is extremely boring. And honestly, if you're looking at the PA, it is just looking very strong after this very strong surge towards the upside. We're consolidating ever so slightly, getting ready for the next move. If we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance, we're seeing that we're creating a massive rising wedge pattern, which is indicating that most likely altcoin season is going to be next. And if you're then also going to be looking at the S&P 500, which is right now setting new all-time highs, we can see and we know that every single time once the S&P 500 moves up here, Bitcoin usually tends to follow, but a little bit later. So I do really believe that Bitcoin is also about to be following the classic stock market. And if you're just looking at the total two, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, so we're then once again going to go back towards that altcoin season, guys, we're creating a massive symmetrical triangle after this continuation towards the upside. It just looks like we're going to be having that next continuation higher. We're just in the midst of this consolidation phase. We're in a support line. So if we're buying altcoins right now, I believe that we're actually buying at quite a good place here in the market. I've been loading up on loads of altcoins right now here. And I think that in the coming, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, whenever we're going to get the spot Ethereum ETF approved, we're going to be most likely going to see very positive price action for altcoins. So I am very bullish in the market overall here. I don't think that there is a reason to really be too bearish on Bitcoin and the entire altcoin industry right now. So I am accumulating. I think that we're still in calm before the storm. I still think that always once Bitcoin builds up liquidity above us or below us, we're going to be grabbing out the liquidity. I've said that so many times on the channel every single time. I have been right once this has been happening. So I still think Bitcoin is going to be at least going to go to $72,000. What is going to be happening next after that, I'm not quite sure, but I think we're going to be grabbing out that liquidity. So please do not get fooled, guys. This was it for me in today's update video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to slap the like button, subscribe to the channel. See you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.